Illegal border crossings have sunk to the lowest level in at least 25 years. Preliminary government data obtained by CBS News shows Border Patrol officers apprehended nearly 8,500 migrants between points of entry along the U.S.-Mexico border last month. That's down about 70% from January. Unlawful border crossings have trended downward over the past year since hitting an all-time high of 250,000 in late 2023. CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez joins us now. Camilo, always good to see you in Studio 57. Do we know what's behind this drop in border crossings?
Well, look, I think we have to first emphasize how stunning and remarkable this drop is. Fewer than 9,000 migrants were processed at the U.S.-Mexico border after crossing into the country illegally in February. That is compared to some days during the Biden administration when Border Patrol recorded more than that on 24-hour time spans, including up to 10,000 people in a single day. So it is a dramatic, stunning turnaround at the U.S.-Mexico border. In terms of what is driving this dramatic change, well, the Trump administration, as you know, would argue that its dramatic crackdown on illegal immigration is the main catalyst here, that their policies, including the effective shutdown of the American asylum system and the deployment of military troops to the border, are having that intended impact in lowering the number of people crossing the border. But of course, Mexico has also been stopping many migrants from even reaching the U.S. in the first place. And that is a years-long operation that began under the Biden administration. But there are still some open questions. For example, historically, migration increases in the spring. So we'll have to wait to see if that materializes. And also, many of the policies that the current administration is crediting for this drop are now facing legal challenges in federal court. So whether they ultimately pass legal muster is still an open question.
So you mentioned military presence. An additional 3,000 troops are going to be sent to the southern border. What does that look like?
So right now, the Department of Defense is providing operational and administrative assistance to Border Patrol. What does that mean? Well, it allows Border Patrol to get additional surveillance assets, and also it entails troops erecting border barriers to repel illegal crossings. Right now, the military, and we should stress this, is not interacting with migrants or otherwise processing them. Why? Well, longstanding federal law prohibits them from engaging in civilian law enforcement, which would include the enforcement of federal immigration law. The only caveat, of course, is that the Texas National Guard, which is there at the border under state orders by Governor Abbott, has been deputized now to arrest and deport migrants. So that is a key change.
Okay, important distinction there. We got to be quick with you, but as we were reporting, 25% tariffs against Canada and Mexico set to go into effect tomorrow. What is the president asking them to do to avoid these tariffs?
Well, the main request here by President Trump is to get Mexico and Canada simultaneously to do more to stop the illicit movement of people and drugs, mainly fentanyl, into the U.S. We have to underscore, of course, that the flow of people and drugs from Canada into the U.S. pales in comparison to the same phenomenon that is coming from Mexico to the U.S., people, migrants, and also illicit drugs. But it is significant still. Canada did announce that it would appoint a fentanyl czar, and Mexico did announce that it would deploy additional troops to stop the spread of migrants and the flow of migrants and fentanyl. But of course, the president is obviously saying that that is not enough, and he wants further actions.
Camilo Montoya-Galvez, thank you.
Of course.